Don't play around with your relationship with God, guys. I'm like a broken record with that. We need Him, we need Him, we need Him. This life is just too hard to do on our own. And this is a God who's so deeply and intimately involved in our lives. Like every decision that we make, and 1,000 decisions we make in a day, guys, we can go to Him and say, God, what is your take on this? What is your perspective? What would you have me to do? Like I'm talking to someone, like a parent is trying to force her to marry someone. And I'm like, how do you feel? What is God telling you? And she just describes it like she's afraid, like she's anxious. She doesn't feel peace. And so I explained to her, like, if this is the person that God would have you to marry, like when I met my husband, guys, the way I fell so in love with him, like there was no doubt whatsoever, like this was supposed to be my husband. I even told people if God himself had come down and say, no, Nick, this is not your husband, I would have argued back with God. That's how confident I was that this was my husband. And that was God's way of directing me. And 21 years later that we're married, guys, that was one of the best decisions I've made. You know, so don't play around with your relationship with God. Get to know his voice. That voice, he doesn't say, oh, maybe you should marry this person. It's a big yes, 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 yes. And those feelings that we're going to continually to follow, feelings of peace, not stress. And when we start to feel anxious or afraid, if we think about the different scenarios that play out in our head, if we feel doubt, if we feel uneasy about it, that's God saying, no, don't do that. But if you feel peace and excitement and enthusiasm the way I felt about my husband, that's God saying, yes, 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 yes. You know, and after 5 months of knowing him, we married, guys. And honestly, it's been a beautiful life with him. God has just guided my life on a beautiful, gorgeous path that I call this husband my gift. We have these 4 beautiful kids together, and I wake up every day excited to be this mom and this wife and this person for God in the world. So God is the one who's been guiding me, guys. So I don't want you guys to miss out, because they say 90% of whether you're happy or not, it depends on who you marry. So that's a crucial decision, who you marry. So if you don't feel that feeling of excitement and peace, even I was engaged to someone before him, and exactly the situation I did not feel, when I thought about the future with this person, I saw myself getting a divorce. So I said, well, Nick, why are you going to marry somebody you already feel you're going to get a divorce from? And that was one of the hardest things I had to do. I had to break off the engagement, guys. So that's my advice to you guys. Get God involved in every decision. He's a moment by moment God, and he's available to us 24/7. You can just feel him. His spirit is with us. He's constantly telling us, he's given us his wisdom, his guidance, so that we can live the best lives with him, guys. So I don't want you guys to miss out. Say, God, pull me closer to you. That's my prayer for all of us, that God would just pull each and every one of us closer and closer to him, because I promise you, the best life is close to God. Period.